Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me in our discussion about tons of fish washing up ashore dead. So, what I'm going to start with first is the toxic chemicals, and one in particular that can be the result of the death of many fish. So, here I have fuels and oils. We have methane, ethane, propane, and butane. And a lot of these oils, when they do spill, are the direct result of accidents on rivers, bays, and of course the ocean, involving humans and their transportation devices such as tankers and boats and motors and things of that nature. So the chemical composition of these oils and fuels are mostly just hydrogen and carbon. So hydrogen, carbon molecules. Um, they are hydrophobic, which means that they sit on top of water or repel water. They are not absorbed or dissolved by water. And how they interact with water is the hydrogen cells will bond with oxygen cells. So yeah, that's the chemical that we will be focusing on in regards to why the fish are dying. Okay. And next, I will go into the process of how a fish is metabolizing their ingredients. And so when this process happens, when there's an oil spill, the fish will use an anaerobic metabolism, and it doesn't need oxygen for this metabolism. It is highly efficient and sustainable. The only thing is, it is mostly used when they're escaping a predator, or in our case, fuels or oils. Um, with that, it can lead to death because it's not sufficient enough to supply oxygen and to balance the energy. If the fish does digest the oil, it can lead to all kinds of problems outside of death. And how they do that, the digestion, there is an enzyme called pepsin, and it breaks down the proteins and also some amino acids, and that will pass to the intestine, and that's where all of their nutrition can be absorbed. And how they even get to that digestion is what they do is they take water into their mouth, and just like how we breathe in air, through the gills, they are able to dissolve oxygen and also release carbon dioxide. And so that's how, if there is no oxygen available, they can asphyxiate because they absolutely need oxygen to survive. Okay. And so what I have here is a presentation, and I called it "A Fish Out of Water, The Death of Many." And so, like I discussed before, the fish cannot breathe with outside of water. And if their water is compromised, which means their oxygen is compromised, then they pretty much just die, unfortunately. In some cases, they can survive, but that will result in their fitness, their growth, and their sustainability. Um, so, like I was saying, it is not very good for there to be toxins such as fuels and oils in the water, um, because the fish will die. They will try to get a cleaner source of oxygen by gulping for air, but in most cases, it leads to fatality. A lot of the times, there are bacteria that are in the water already that will naturally dissolve the hydrocarbons, but it is a timely process and it can take anywhere from a year to many years. And so that's not ideal for someone who is running out of oxygen. So, what can we do in cases like this? In most cases, we humans cause toxins, and so it is only fair for us to clean them up. One way we can do this is with bioremediation. And like I said, there's already bacteria in the water that will naturally dissolve oils, but with the addition of hydrocarbon eating bacterias, it can speed up the cleanup process. And so, with that, I think that if we were just a little bit more conscious of our vehicles and our transportation devices and I guess, the overall composition of them, and if we were to make changes of how the oils and fuels are being spilled, accident or not, it would make a huge difference on the fish and the future generation of the fish. And not just fish, marine animals altogether. If we were more conscious of what we're doing, then we could save all of them. So yeah, that is my presentation. Like I was saying before, this is just one way fish are washing up ashore dead, and there are many other ways. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Here are my references.